when you're feeling that midday grumble.
It's time for a snack.
And a little bit of humble.
And a hack. Doesn't make any sense.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Snack hacks! Could be a dirty word, could be the theme of today's episode.
Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out. Welcome to Food, Love, Laughter. It's Tuesday.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, happy Tuesday.
It's good to see you.
Almost the end of July, which means it's almost the end of summer, which means it's almost fall.
This year has flown by, pandemic and all.
Weird year.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about fall?
Can I be selfish?
Please.
My birthday.
Yeah! Write it down in your calendar right now, everybody. Ezra's birthday, October 4th.
I think it's also the general feeling of cool in the air. So
Cool air.
The oppressive heat from the summer has been
Yes.
cooking.
Yes.
And then we get a little bit of relief, and then therefore my favorite time of day comes around, twilight, when the sun's going down and the land sort of cools off with the air. Man, it was my favorite part of the high desert in New Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's like my favorite part truly everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think fall is my
The
faves.
fall's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, like...
Anybody else? Fall?
How
favorite?
far are we away from that?
Well, technically, fall begins in September, like the first day.
So
of
we got
autumn,
some time.
So we have a couple.
That
of
means
months.
it's still going to be super hot.
But I think when it's like hot like this, like everyone, maybe not everyone, but starts dreaming of fall and like the leaves changing and sweaters
Indeed,
and things that smell like pumpkin and cinnamon and apples.
Meanwhile, in the summer, it still gets hot, and
You sense a theme here?
well,
It's hot.
this is me tying it all together.
Yes.
When you get hot, you get tired. I don't know if you're like me, but when the summer heat hits, boy, it's hard for a little bit of time to just stay awake.
Yeah, the siesta is real.
The siesta is real, and then so therefore I turn to a little bit of water.
Yes.
And a midday snack that isn't gonna lay me level. Sometimes, legit, I need something that's gonna, I feel like, I'm gonna rephrase that. Sometimes I feel like I need something that's gonna lay me out.
Yeah, get a little gluten and just boom, take that big old nap, right?
But more often than not in our lives lately, we have come up with some feel better alternatives.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. Snacks that when you eat the snack, you don't feel like you need to take a nap afterward, which is why it's a snack hack.
So let's hack some snacks in.
Okay, we're gonna start with the old rice cake.
Woo!
The humble rice cake. I feel like rice cakes got a bad rap
Oh, they
for
totally
like
got a bad
diet culture.
Because they're so dry and hurty and
But
throw them
they're
away.
such a valuable vessel for lots of flavors, and so so
That's
we have
it,
here,
right? Like
yeah.
you want the healthy things with a little bit of a base.
And if you're like us and bread and gluten makes you sleepy, then you want something that can be a carrier, a vessel like bread or toast, but that is not going to make you need a nap. So what we got here is a rice cake and some organic peanut butter from the old Aldi. No sugar added to it. That's how we get our peanut butter.
Is there really no sugar in that?
Yeah, there's only 2 ingredients: organic peanuts and sea salt.
I don't miss it.
The sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird actually now to have peanut butter with sugar in it because I'm like, this isn't right. This is
Yeah.
not what peanut butter tastes like.
Usually it's because I pair my peanut butter with something sweet anyway.
Yeah. So this loading up the rice cake with the peanut butter, and then this is an Ezra hack. What do we have here, Ezra?
It's true. I love that you called me out. We'll get to you later. This is one of my favorite little hacks where just, instead of jelly, because that has a ton of sugar in it too, I'll just take straight up fruit and blueberries. Yo, sometimes, and I don't know why, but I'm leaning in. I'm just gonna roll with it for most of this episode today. Sometimes I'll get a pint of blueberries, and the next day, Katie will ask, "Where's the blueberries?" and I will have eaten them in one sitting because they're, I think, aside from some of those other tropical fruits like passion fruit and mango, they're like my favorite.
Yeah, I think, but if we're gonna talk about things to eat in one sitting, like top to bottom, a pint of blueberries, not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
It's not a pint of ice cream. It's not like a full bag of chips. Like a pint of blueberries in one sitting.
Pint of blueberries.
We're all gonna be okay.
Awesome.
So that's it.
Yeah.
It's a little rice cake with, oh, Ezra's coming for you. A little rice cake with a little peanut butter and blueberries. So that's snack hack number 1.
Number 1!
Snack hack number 2. What did you want to do next?
Surprise with every bite with the blueberries. It's like
Yeah.
a package of awesome.
Yeah! What do you want to do next?
Okay, so let's keep going on the rice cake
All
train.
right, we're on the rice cake train. So we have here another prepared rice cake.
Woo.
And an avocado. So, pro tip about avocados, we may have talked about this before, but if you get an avocado at the grocery store and it's still a little hard, like it isn't ripe enough yet, let it sit out for a couple days, and then once it starts to feel a little soft and it feels right, put it in the fridge so it doesn't rot. So that way you get an avocado that looks like this one that Sir Ezra is preparing.
Green like
Look
a
how pretty it is.
beautiful
It's like a
color.
perfect
For a
avocado,
lot
and it's
longer.
like buttery. So we are gonna put half an avo on this rice cake. And avocados are considered, I think they're considered a superfood because they're just so good for you.
Because they're amazing.
I think they got a bad rap for a long time because they are high in the good fat, and our culture tended to be anti-healthy fat for a really long time.
Really?
But oh yeah, like
Yeah, what was
like
it?
in the 90s it was like low fat, low sugar,
Oh yeah,
sugar free.
which replaced with just sugar.
Yeah. So we have the avocado. Now Ezra and I do this differently. Ezra just the avocado.
Yeah,
I usually
that's
put
the-
it in a bowl and smash it a little
That's
bit
the spin.
before I apply it. But then once we have the avocado, the old standby.
Booyah.
Everything but the bagel seasoning, which I originally found at Trader Joe's, but now they sell at Aldi and all sorts of places. And we just do a healthy sprinkle of everything but the bagel seasoning, which not only tastes delicious, but is beautiful. So we have a little everything but the bagel seasoning. And then what are we gonna do with that lime?
See, with this
Raw.
lime, you could put it on there. But what I'm going to use the lime is for, because, you could eat the whole avocado, right, with another rice cake. You can probably even get 3 rice cakes in avocados.
Yeah, that's
which
usually
makes
how I
for
do it. 1 avocado, 3 rice cakes.
a stout hipster lunch. But if you want to save your rest of your avocado, if you don't know this, you just put a little lime juice on top of it, right? And so basically you cover the surface. Now, you put this in the fridge, you can put it in a container. I usually just put it straight up into the egg
area of the
egg
fridge.
area, the egg area, which I'm sure has a name. But the egg place, anyway, and the top will get a little bit brown, but underneath it'll act as a preservative. Like this is a natural preservative now.
Yeah, so that's the rice cake snack hacks. This next one,
Yeah.
since our very first episode of Food Love Laughter, Ezra has been wanting
I've
to
been
feature
wanting
this.
to do this.
And the reason why we haven't thus far is because it's embarrassing for me. And so, welcome to my embarrassment.
Let's call it a guilty pleasure.
Okay, let's call it a guilty
And
pleasure.
you know why? You know why I think this is. You call it an embarrassment.
It's just weird, when you have those weird food things. I was talking to the kids about it today, actually, about weird food things that they do. And they do some weird shit, y'all. We're like,
I don't think
salt and vinegar chips and honey mustard sauce. And I was like,
I don't think this is as bad as you think it is, because I think it's an excellent way to deal with
yeah, it's frugal.
the
It is
rest
frugal
of your
AF.
chips. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do know this, please.
So,
This is her thing now. Okay?
so
You have to
this
understand.
was born out of our
And
marriage.
I think it's genius.
And Ezra would eat like the chips. Say there
Hold
was
on, don't blame me for.
This is a two-way street.
No, this is a one-way street. This is a one-way chip soup thing.
Sometimes both of us will eat chip bags and just leave a little bit left and not throw it away. So what do you do with the crumbles? You could just throw them away, but we don't. We put them in a bowl.
You don't. You put them in a bowl.
I put them in a bowl.
You keep wanting to share
These
this.
are some.
This is our excellent idea.
Organic blue corn chips, and then these are some more organic.
Okay,
These are
so now,
jalapeno lime
like,
chips.
you want to be able to take the rest of your guacamole, right? Like, you want to be able to taste the rest of your salsa that's left in the bowl, but with these
You don't
tiny
have any
chips,
chips
you got
to
your
dip.
hands are all gross and stuff.
So you put it in a bowl, and we normally call this chip soup, but today with the kids,
You
decided
something else.
that it's better to call it chip salad. It's more appropriate if it's called
Yeah,
chip
because the
salad.
first thing you think of is like some kind of broth or like
Yeah,
a
and
milk,
that's
like
not
a chip
what's
syrup.
happening,
That's
yeah.
not what's happening.
So then you take a little bit of your salsa. I don't do sour cream. I usually do Fage Greek yogurt. So if I have some of that around, I'll do that too.
And those are the two heavy hitters I have found, at least early in our relationship. I'm sure it's maybe changed since then, over the years. But you take a little bit of the Greek yogurt and the salsa, you combine them with the chips. And here's the biggest reason. One of our friends, Russell Daniels, it was a late, frivolous evening one summer where we were all sharing some fun snacks and some fun hacks. And Katie, you shared the rest of your chips, like, because at the end of the party, it came down to the bottom of the bowl. And what do you do with the bottom of the bowl? You pour salsa into it, and you had it. And he was loving it.
He was into it.
He was so into it. He was
Russell
like,
was into
yes, this is the thing. And I saw his eyes light up, and I thought, what if we could turn this into a restaurant? And you immediately got defensive. And we're like, no, this is such a stupid idea. But
I mean, it's taken months for us to share it on this Facebook Live with our
And
friends.
it's-
So imagine what it would be like to have a national rollout of our
And you
fast
have
food
to
chain
understand
called
something.
chip salad.
Brilliant idea. People are going to watch this and run with it. You have to understand that, as I'm sure that you've noticed, we're doing our best to stay authentic with these videos and these
Right.
things. So, like, we're not always this bubbly, but we will talk about real things about our life, and this is one of them.
Yes, chip salad, as it has been renamed. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's not
you're
you.
going to show them. You think it's gross. You think it's weird. And I think it's amazing. So, like, just to go riff on that a little bit, because now I'm going to show you a different hack.
Yes.
One of the things that, so this web series that we've been doing,
Facebook Live cooking show.
this Facebook Live cooking show that we've been doing is us, and, I would like us to be as honest as possible about things. And so from time to time, that means showing your belly just a little bit, what I call like being a little vulnerable. And in this case, this is something that is incredible. And
And a little vulnerable.
And I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, here we go, moving on.
So this last bit, this is like an Ezra Cologne, like every week phenomenon. This is the single best way to hard-boiled eggs.
That we have discovered so far. And
I don't know that it gets any better than this.
It's
This right
so
here is the
satisfying.
price of admission. If you eat hard-boiled eggs, you want to tune in for the next couple of minutes because this right here is worth the price of admission. This
And
is
she's-
worth the 20 episodes that came before
She's
this.
not just talking it. Like, this is really walking it now, okay? Like, so here's what you do. I'm just going to give you the recipe straight out, all right? Because I'll tell you later. And the result is, I'll tell you later. Start off with boiling water. You start off, boil the water. Don't put the eggs in yet. Don't put the eggs in yet. Wait till it's boiling. Put the eggs in then.
Gently.
Okay? Gently, so they don't crack at the bottom. And I've failed. You'll get one or two that'll crack. But before you put the eggs in, add about a half teaspoon of baking soda. What this is going to do is it's going to provide your egg white to separate a little bit more from the shell. So while it's boiling, it's already got the like half teaspoon to teaspoon of baking soda, depending on how many eggs you do. I do about 30, so I put a like teaspoon because I'm making some for the week, right? And then I just keep them in the fridge. What this does then, okay, so after 10 minutes is up, boom, turn off the water, put the eggs immediately, take them out of the water and put them in a bowl of ice. Now this, to shock them. And what we've done here is now the ice is melted, and I'm putting them into this glass Pyrex container with a tight lid, right? You could do this like with you might have one that's a little bit longer, but here, let's do 5. So that stays inside the shocked water for 15 minutes at least, right? This has been in there for a little bit longer, of course, but they at least want to be in there for 15 minutes. Now, the next thing that happens, and here's the cool part, and why this recipe works so well. When I first started doing it, the eggs that I would peel, and I would do it not that way. You're laughing because
a lot
I
of
know.
cursing in the kitchen before this
Because
method
I'd get
was
mad.
discovered.
It was intense. It was too much. I'm losing so many eggs because the white would not separate from the shell, right? Like the egg white would not.
The white would not separate
from the shell.
So mad. Like Ezra gets so mad, he'd be at the sink peeling, and then
And
it
I
would
was
just
following
be like,
all the rules,
"Gah!"
recipes.
And then he would walk out. He would go outside, y'all. He wouldn't just walk out of the kitchen. He would walk out of the house. He was so angry.
Did you know that some people in Sweden scream all at the same time at one time during the day? There's like students. It's true. Someone fact check me here. This is legit. In Sweden, students do this. I'll show you the article. Anyway,
Like 1:11 every day, they all scream.
if you like students, like they all at 7 p.m. or something like that
Okay.
at their time, and they all like stay out the window and one person will start, and they'll all go and like
Just a release.
just a release. That's what I would do when the eggs would mess up. So finally found this recipe, and if you made it this far, okay, here we go. So this container is about 3/4 filled with water, and the eggs are in it. Now I'm going to shake this so that I can feel, you can hear too, there's a difference in sound, that it goes from eggs off the shell. Yeah. All right. You can feel it too, like once they've softened. And I'm going to show you why this is worth it. So here's my egg that I've shaken. Here's the shell.
Peeled, y'all.
Boom!
Peeled.
Done.
Will you go do one up close to the camera?
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay.
Told you, worth the price of admission right here.
Right, so like, here you can see that it's like kind of cracked already and ready to go. And look at that. So satisfying, it's just gonna pop right off. Booyah, done. Here are a few shell
I
bits.
feel like we need to give Miles Pulaski a shout out because he's the first
You
one.
remember, I was gonna say.
He's the first one we ever saw do the like water glass container shake method. So this is just like multiple steps, like sciencing the shit out of every step.
And
of
remember
the
how
hard-boiled egg.
he failed? Like, remember
Yeah,
the first time he did
because
it?
the
This is not a
white
knock on
didn't
Miles, but it's true.
separate from the shell.
And I just kept sitting there,
Oops, sorry.
at different recipes, I'd be like, come on, you know, under running water, things like that. But doing this just takes so much less time. It's so, look at that, it's so satisfying.
So
Booyah.
satisfying.
And then, you know, if there's a little bit, inevitably there'd be a little bit of shell left over, and I just dip it back into the water. And then finally, hello.
Hello.
And I break that like little membrane. Boop.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Whoa.
Bink.
Bink.
Anyway,
So-
we've been wanting to do this for a while too.
Yeah, so there it is. Those are the snack hacks for today. We got the 2 rice cakes, part 1, part 2, chip salad,
Chip
duly
salad,
named, and
formerly
then
known chip soup.
the best hard-boiled egg method known to man.
If you have snack hacks of your own,
Please share.
please
We
share.
love a good snack hack.
We do, especially ones that are going to keep you healthy, happy, and
Yeah.
loving and laughing.
Oh, and if you're not part of my client community, my Arbonne client community, I'm doing healthy and happy hacks. I did one last night. I'm doing one tomorrow at the same time. So let me know and I'll invite you, and we'll talk about lifestyle hacks aside from just food. Okay. Boop, 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 boop.
Hey, everybody. We love you.
We love you.
Stay safe out there.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.